Hello and welcome to 5-Year Club video number 246. I found this amusing article title today, so I decided to make it today's video. It is a reminder to not loan money to friends and family, and also do not take out debt in your name that supposedly friends or family are going to pay back. Sexually transmitted debt is something you can catch from your partner. Much like catching... It's getting late. Much like catching a physical STD, people can contract sexually transmitted debt from a romantic partner. Financial STDs affect millions more Americans than the most common sexually transmitted disease, according to data from Finder.com and CDC. People can learn to recognize the warning signs and also take steps to guard against picking up unwanted debt. There's another kind of STD floating around. It's a nasty financial bug you can pick up from your partner, sexually transmitted debt, and it may well amount to an epidemic, according to Finder.com. Sexually transmitted debt is where one person in a relationship becomes responsible for their partner's financial debt, usually after being convinced or misled into taking on the debt in their own name. Finder.com's report, based on a survey conducted in June of more than 2,000 adults, say 74 million Americans have taken on responsibility for debt from a current or ex-partner. It's similar to an STD in that you can catch it from someone you love. Marriage is the top risk factor. Next up, purchases made in someone's name, purchases made through joint accounts, secret spending by a partner, and divorce settlements. Credit cards top the list, followed by auto loans and student loans. The average amount of debt is estimated at $11,845 for an estimated $250 billion in total acquired debt. And now we got this nice graphic. Where does sexually transmitted debt come from? Credit cards, 37%. That is by far the top one. And auto loans, 19%. And then other, who knows what other is? Just like miscellaneous personal loans, I guess. And then student loans, 14%. Borrowing from friends and family, 13%. Medical bills, 13%. Personal loans, 13%. Mortgage, 10%. Payday loans, 9%. Home equity loans, 5%, but credit cards and auto loans look like they are the top two that we can identify here. So the findings are surprising for two reasons, says Jacquette M. Timmons, a financial behavioralist and author of Financial Intimacy. First is the staggering amount. I knew the numbers were high, she said, but $250 billion is a lot of money. The other surprise is what causes relationship-related debt. I would have expected that after credit cards, student loans would have been the next highest source of debt, Timmons said. When she was researching and writing her book, Timmons came across many couples who actively hide debt. It wasn't so much a matter of obscuring their spending habits, but being completely veiled about the fact that they had debt and how much, she said. This all points to a critical need for people to be completely transparent about their finances in a relationship. The cost of sexually transmitted debt cost. They say the word cost twice there. Just 10% of Americans took on a partner's mortgage, but it's naturally the largest figure transmitted from one partner to the other, and by a wide margin, $93,000 on average. All right, so if a mortgage is included, then it's a lot of money, right? Because the mortgage is kind of an outsized part of people's debt in general. We came across that a couple videos ago. And student loans, if you take them on, a large amount, $12,800. Home equity loans, $11,966. Auto loans, $8,435. Credit cards, a little bit more manageable at $67.92. Debt on its own may not be the issue people think it is, Timmons says. Most couples today are dealing with debt of some sort, she said. Clouding the issue, Timmons says, this is a bad reading day for me, is that the U.S. now has a huge debt-shaming culture. We treat people as if there's something wrong with it, Timmons said. Not all debt should be treated in the same fashion. Lifestyle-driven debt is entirely different from student loan or medical debt, or building up a business using credit card debt. I'm not sure they're as different as this article thinks. But transparency and open conversations must take place, Timmons says. Referring to the shock of the study's title, she said, "You never let someone not answer your question if you are asking about an STD. Just like a physical STD, you can take steps to protect yourself. The methods to guard against transmission are similar to those for making sure you don't pick up an actual bug. First, have some compassion, whether for yourself or your partner. The majority of people do not go into debt believing they'll never be able to get out, Timmons said. Second, use plastic wisely. Though when it comes to finances and debt protection, you'll want to be careful how you use plastic, meaning credit cards. And in Lewis's opinion, you don't use them at all. So wisely is just don't do it. Come up with a different solution. Third, come up with a treatment plan. Luckily, debt is not a terminal disease. Work together to form a plan to pay down debt. Keep the lines of communication open. Share progress on getting out of debt, Timmons said. Couples can use money as communication tools, Timmons says. Finances can help people get to know each other and help deepen connections. If someone shuts down and never circles back to a money topic, that is a signal that something is amiss in the relationship, she said. All right, so let's back up, and I'm going to be more extreme about this. Do not take on anyone's debt unless you get married to them, right? Because then, legally speaking, you're financially connected at the hip anyway. And don't loan money to friends or relatives. If you want to give them money because they need some money, then give them money. It's fine to give gifts, but do not loan people money who you have a personal relationship with. It is bad for the personal relationship. The relationship is much more important than the money. And and you can find solutions that have better outcomes than poisoning the relationship with money in that way. All right, well, that is it for video number 246. Hope you enjoyed it. Have a fabulous evening.